Welcome to Lean IT Foundations. Today we will be covering Section 3, Dimensions of Lean IT Performance. Section 3D, Lean IT Performance. I am your speaker, Anthony McCollum, and I am a Process Improvement Specialist. Over the course of studying the 5 dimensions of Lean IT, we have covered customers, process, organization. Today we will be reviewing performance, and we will finish up with behavior and attitude in the next section. Performance. 3 key things: measurable, value, capabilities. Let's dive into performance. Within performance, we're going to focus on 3 key things here. That's key performance indicators, time usage, skills, and knowledge matrix. We're going to cover each of these in a bit more detail. But these are the 3 things that are going to make up key performance within the Lean IT organization. These types of things will help us enable good decision making that is driven on facts and metrics. It'll drive us to complete our objectives within any project. As always with Lean projects, we are going to follow some sort of a methodology, whether it be PDCA or the DMAIC methodology, which we have covered in previous sections. Let's talk about each of these 3 key areas. Key performance indicators essentially express qualitative management objectives. One of the key things to keep in mind with these KPIs is that key performance indicators should be relatively matched within all levels of the organization. That goes from the executive board all the way down to the frontline folks that are actually doing the job. These key performance indicators should be related in some type of way. Time usage is critical, especially in IT. When we're dealing with IT, time is in fact one of the most critical resources that we have available to us. That ties in directly with the skills and knowledge matrix that we will be reviewing in a few slides. The time we have for people with certain skills within IT is critical, again, to the available skills we have to solve problems and develop solutions when we're working on IT projects. So let's talk about these key performance indicators. KPIs. KPIs should be SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Successful KPIs, well, there's a lot of things that make up successful KPIs, but again, should support the execution of the overall strategy within the organization, right? So our frontline KPIs that we're managing ourselves every single day should somehow be related with the high-level goals and targets of the actual organization. In fact, cascading from the executive board all the way to the front line and vice versa, in reverse. It's important that what we're doing on the front lines is translated in both directions, all the way back up to the board and the board all the way down to the front line. Documentation is also going to be critical. We want to make sure that we understand how we're collecting our KPIs and how these KPIs are driving our every single day decisions that we're making. KPIs should also be long-lasting. We may have some KPIs that we have for short-term gains within a project just to make sure that we are on track to a bigger level or a higher level KPI. But KPIs as a whole should be things that we have previously been measuring to see how we are doing, and certainly measurements that we will use going forward in the decisions we make in managing our business every day. There is a bit of a hierarchy when we do look at KPIs. Again, they are all related, but we may have just a few KPIs on the executive level, for example, sales. And once we go down lower within the organization, all the way down to the floor level, there can be dozens of KPIs, separate individual KPIs, that are directly related to sales volume. Let's talk about time usage. As I mentioned, time usage is the critical resource within IT. So when we're working on a lean project, it's important for us to understand the skills we have, how people are spending their time, and to do our best to make sure that we're managing that time efficiently. To do that, we use what's called the process cycle efficiency equation. This calculates the percentage of time spent on value-add activities versus non-value-add activities. Now, the first time you do your PCE equation, you may be a little shocked to find out that you might be spending a lot of time on some non-value-add activities. That's okay. In fact, we find in most organizations that a very, very good, an extremely efficient PCE number that you might be shooting for would be 15 to 30%, 30% being outstanding in regards to the amount of time we spend on value-add activities. The value stream map that we created and learned about under the process section of the Lean IT, of the dimensions of Lean IT, will help us to determine the numbers we need for our PCE equation. But essentially, all it is the sum of all value-add activities that we do divided by the overall lead time. It takes the amount of time it takes us to get something done. Don't panic. All the information you need to complete this is in your value stream map. And it's really not a lot of complicated math here. It's just simply put, what are we doing and how much of it is directly involved in affecting our final product. Now let's talk about skills and knowledge. So we have a lot of different skills in IT. We have different levels of skills within IT as well. If you're talking service desk, for example. Different people that are capable of doing different things. Now, when we're looking at designing a project, we can look at the skills and knowledge matrix from two different angles. One can be the skills and knowledge that we need to complete a particular project. Or we can also be looking at when we're doing a project, the goal of the project itself may be to find a way to separate or divide evenly the skills and knowledge that we have available to us. Basic skills demanded with the skills supplied by the team to meet customer demand is what we're talking about when we're talking about skills and knowledge. So in the picture on the right, for example, we have a couple of lines here, the red line being the amount of hours that we need available to us, the blue line representing the amount of hours we have that are actually available to us. So for example, we need 12 hours worth of reporting, in between 10 and 12 hours worth of reporting. But we only have the skills on our team to provide 7 hours of actual reporting. So here we can see a gap. Now we can start to make the types of decisions that we need for our team to finish this project of can we move resources around, or if we're looking at actually setting something up, figuring out the demand that we're going to need and figuring out if we need to train people, move people around, cross-train folks, maybe have people stagger their hours in order to cover a certain skill that's in demand. So let's do a quick knowledge check on performance. What is the purpose of the skills and knowledge S&K analysis? To produce personal development plans aligned with S&K, enable segregation of duties according to customer demands in S&K, develop S&K in line with employee preferences, develop the right amount of S&K to provide the value that customers expect from IT. Well, anytime someone puts that value and customers in the same sentence, that's probably what they're talking about. But this is what the skills and knowledge matrix is all about, is making sure that we have enough resources to give the customers what they need. What tool would be used to understand how much time is spent on value-added activities? DMAIC, SIPOC, PCE, or critical to quality? Well, we did just review the PCE equation, and again, that is directly related to figuring out how much time we're spending on those value-add activities. What is the key production factor within IT? Quality, time, money, or services? Well, as we mentioned, time is the most important or critical thing when we're dealing with IT, right? Understanding the skills we have on our team and making sure we're using them in the right place. Which is not a requirement for a KPI. Supports the execution of the strategy, consistent across the organization, should be owned by the manager, controllable by the team. And the answer here is C, owned by the manager. That's not really what we're looking for in KPIs, right? We want to ensure that KPIs are relevant to the work that's being done at a particular level within the organization. This completes section 3D on the organization.